So we were wondering whether there was going to be a poll for Project Epoch to determine whether the servers are going to get wiped, reset, or the gold was going to be reduced. Well, lo and behold, here it is. There is a poll. There are 3 options, and we're going to go over that. Eridan, 12 hours ago, posted on the Discord that there's going to be a 24-hour poll to determine, well, at least to influence what they're going to do with the server. Are they going to wipe it? Are they going to reset it? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? So Eridan says, below you will find the options for our player poll about reopening Project Epoch's servers. The poll will be available for 24 hours, and we recognize some players are concerned about outside voices influencing this poll. Therefore, the poll is intended to gauge player direction rather than be the sole determining factor. So they might not necessarily go off of what this poll says. They might still make their own executive decision. I don't know, but that's how that's phrased. Before voting, we want to share some information to help you make a choice. So if you are accessible, if you have access to the Project Epoch Discord, then you should be able to vote in this. If you haven't been able to create an account or get access to the Discord, then I don't think you're going to get a say in this. And I think they locked it that way so that people can't use bots and stuff like that. So option 1, no wipe, but prune. So what does that mean? While reports of players with massive amounts of gold and materials are overblown, we've queried player gold, items, banks, mail, etc. and found that exactly 42 players have more than 5 gold in total assets, which isn't a massive amount, but having 5 gold is quite a lot anyway, especially at level 15. We can reduce or remove gold and physical assets like copper ore and elemental flux down to a reasonable amount for level 15. Player progress would be otherwise unaffected. So I'm just going to make a point that from what I've read in some of the Reddit Discords and all that information highway for this Project Epoch, is apparently there have been people that have been fishing for rune cloth, etc. Special boxes that you can potentially get that can give you items that are higher level that can be used for later on, as well as going along that path, opening chests and then finding these rare chests that haven't been opened because they're out in the world that haven't been discovered yet. So going to specific locations. This is very min-maxy stuff, and you would have to know your stuff, but obviously there's going to be people that do that. So they know where to go to find these special chests, etc., that they can get access to without getting killed by a level 42 mob or whatever. And then they can open this. And apparently when the server resets each time, which obviously they've done quite many times, if you've ever been trying to get onto the Project Epoch server, yeah, they've done a lot of resets over and over. And the chests reset with it, apparently. So, yeah, it turns out that's quite a profitable way to make some money. So some people probably do have some pretty advantageous things in their bank. So maybe that should get pruned. Now, there's also the people that were farming Warsong Gulch, and they're making money off handing the tokens in, not to mention building up their reputation with the PvP, which can allow you to get access to gear. So gear can have an influence on how they're going to progress. Now, you might not care. You might just be a dad gamer who just wants to play whenever he can. Let the sweaty tryhards do what they're going to do. Well, that's fine as well, because they're going to do what they're going to do at the end of the day. Now, I haven't made my mind up here. I'll get through to that in the end. The benefit of a prune is that a large number of players have already moved out of starting zones, which allows a total higher player count, and players who have not yet begun their journeys have a better chance of avoiding a queue. The team is confident we can account for all edge cases, such as guild banks, mail in flight, alts, etc. So other ways for people to transfer resources to themselves and avoid this prune, so to speak. But yes, option 1 basically makes it so that level 15s get to stay, but they don't necessarily get to keep all the goods and resources that they've gathered, and perhaps 5 gold is the cap. I don't know whether they've decided specifically on what their cap is going to be, as well as pruning specific items that could be very powerful for later on. So yeah, I think overall this is probably a good move, because it means that if they do bring up the servers, you're not going to have a billion people trying to fight. So that's the thing, people probably want to have a fair go that didn't get to play before and want to be on the same level playing field. But the downside of you doing that is there's going to be more people that you have to fight to get the mobs, and then you're probably still going to get behind anyway if that's what you're trying to go to do. Let's face it, unless you're incredibly super sweaty, super lucky, and manage to pull the right mobs, get in the right groups to get the quest done. Yeah, that's a piece of advice, by the way. If you're going to start off, maybe just invite people. Just invite people. Because when they're killing mobs, it goes towards getting the quest done. So that's what I did last time. And I got to level 15. So you just invite people, try to get whatever you can in a group. Hopefully they're active. Hopefully they're good. If they're not, kick them out or whatever, or try to join a group. And then maybe you can get some extra pulls. So option 2 is wipe it all. All characters would be deleted. In this scenario, we are able to preserve player character names at the account level. It is more likely that players will experience a queue as the server balances the starting area load. So this is literally just a flat out, you start from scratch. At best, you might get to preserve your character name, but that's it. You are starting from level 1 like everyone else. No money, no gold, no nothing, no items. Right from scratch. Everyone in the starting areas. Or option 3, there's one thing to note on this, by the way. I have read through this before. They're going to have new starting zones, potentially for the trolls and gnomes. So they can offload some of the stress that's going to be in those areas, because obviously you get dwarfs and gnomes in the same area, orcs and trolls in the same area. Option 3, do nothing. The server will potentially open sooner, as we do not have to take any additional player preparations. I don't think that's going to get voted for. I'll be surprised. I guess the only people that would vote for that are the 42 people that have got lots of resources, maybe. One last thing to consider. Our art and content team was unable to assist with resolving the server instability and issues that caused our downtime. But there was one thing they could do. Split the troll and gnome players into their own starting areas to provide additional balancing for players in those starting areas. So I have no idea how those starting areas are going to work, and I am very curious. Though, through a massive effort of the team, our art and content team have spun up fully realized starting areas for both trolls and gnomes, including new maps, art, assets, quests, and rewards. The art for these new starting zones was crafted in an extreme crunch. Both our map and model artists were working on them for every waking hour over the course of these past 7 days. Nevertheless, this was achieved while preserving our current quality standards for custom content that you all deserve. This is an extreme outlier in our normal content workflow. It is a gift to the community, and we sincerely hope that you will enjoy experiencing these new stories together with us. So, if we choose option 2, which is wipe, players will start in the new zones. If we choose other options, new characters will start in new zones, and existing characters will need to travel to those zones to experience them. So if you're already out in the world, you'd have to come back to see those zones if you wanted to, but that's very unlikely unless you just really want to see them, because you probably want to just progress at that point. But it's nice to know they've got an option there. I have no idea how efficient that's going to be. I assume they have the same amount of quests that you would normally have as a starting character. That's quite a lot of work, not to mention all of the building of the area, the pathing, how it all lines up and sets you on the path correctly. I assume they've got that working, and they've done it in a very short time of space, so I'm very curious in that, and I guess that's a benefit for those that get to start fresh. You get to see those zones now, so curiosity is there. We appreciate the support of the community during this difficult time. Launch has not gone the way we hoped or expected. And exposed a lot of opportunities we have to improve in the future. Once the servers are up and stable, we will work on our promised retrospective and fill in a number of roles that we need to help us interface and manage our community tools going forward. Thank you for being a part of Project Epoch. So, what are you thinking? What would you vote? Where would you go on this? Would you go option 1, no wipe but the prune? Option 2, wipe it all? Option 3, be lazy and do nothing? Well, if we scroll down just a little bit further, here are the votes. So, option 1 has 14,672, option 2 has 10,680, and option 3 has 4,905. So as you can see, option 1 is the most popular, with second being after that, and third being quite far behind at this point. So you would have to vote like 4,000 plus on the option 2 to beat option 1, and that's nothing going for option 1 anymore at this point. So I think at the moment, although there's still 12 hours to go, it is currently looking like no wipe but prune. But remember, the developers did say something along the lines that this won't be the sole determining factor Although I suspect it probably would be, right? It's what else are they gonna? What's the point of having the poll if that's? Oh well, it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think in regards to that sort of phrasing, because that is interesting. They could just be like, we can't be bothered. We'll do nothing. I don't think that's going to be what they do. So have I voted? No. And honestly, I'm probably not going to vote, mostly because I am indifferent. I think if I was to vote, it'd be between these two. So what I could do is I could put a point into each, I think. So if I wanted to. I have a level 15 character. I'm happy to play that. I'm also happy to start again from scratch because there's things I would like to do better, such as exploring different flight paths, and I've seen some videos that could help you do that, particularly as a night elf player. You go around and you pick up the flight paths, you explore the zones, so you get the experience from doing that, so you can still get like level 4 but within the hour. And I've already gone to like Goldshire, Red Ridge Mountains, got the flight path there, and Westfall got the flight path, all that kind of stuff, and then back to quest in Teldrassil. And sure, you would miss out on about 20 to 40 minutes potentially of where other players might be, but generally speaking, if there's going to be lots of people in the same zone, they're probably not going to be creeping very efficiently. Even the fastest people will still take about 30-ish minutes to probably get to level 6. 20 to 30 minutes realistically if they're being really quick. So you're not really missing out on much, and you've got to get those flight paths, etc. Anyway, so I could go either way. I haven't really got much other than just getting level 15, so I haven't really got much gold. I didn't really bank a whole ton of quests to hand in. There are some, but that's just because I literally had those quests available to hand in, and then I hit level 15 just from killing mobs. I could go either way. You guys let me know what you think. Which option would you go for? Type in the comments. Option 1, option 2, or option 3. Thanks for watching. Make sure to cast your vote if you can, if you're interested in doing so. If not, then stay tuned for what happens next.